let's move on to skis. So skis, very specialized piece of equipment like
Yeah.
boots. There must be a specific way of preparing those and how you store them for that long period of non-use over the summer months.
Yeah, the basic bits are pretty similar to a ski boot. When you get back from your ski trip, make sure it's dry. Make sure it's, keep the moisture off the edges. So before you pack the car to come home, or before you pack your ski bag, before it goes in the airline, just give it a dry down with a towel so the edges don't oxidize or get rusty. When people look at that tarnish, it's not just about the brown rust; they can go black as well. You can actually come home and get storage wax put on them. So it's just a base of wax on the, or a layer of wax on the base, and it can go over the edges just to stop moisture damaging the edges and also to stop the base drying out. That's a good way to do it. It's also a brilliant time to take them to a local retailer so they can check the bases, fill any gouges that need doing, tune the edges before they put the storage wax. So next season, all they need is a scrape off of wax and a brush down. The thing that I would encourage people to do, again, like boots, keep them away from massive variations in temperature, keep them away from moisture, keep them away from direct sunlight. But bindings. So I'm holding a toe piece of it says Head, obviously it's a Tyrolia binding, it's the same company. These have springs in them to hold you in securely and allow you to come out when you want to. Now, if we keep a spring compressed, then it's not going to have the same elasticity that it may have had. So on this one, for example, it goes 3 to 11. I've just wound it down to 3, the lowest setting. Try not to wind.
Just to clarify there, for people who might not be aware, this is your kind of DIN setting, isn't it? When you go
Yes,
into the
yeah,
ski
absolutely
hire
right.
shop, for example, if you don't own your own skis and you go into the ski hire shop and they ask you about your height and your weight and your
Yeah,
experience of skiing, and then they'll consult a chart and decide what DIN setting they're going to give you. On your own
absolutely correct.
skis, you can choose that, but you're saying it's very important to release that through the summer.
Yeah, I just let the springs relax. So the DIN is that number that's going to dictate what force your boot needs to release from the binding. So in a tumble, you can come out. Yeah, when you're skiing, you're held in. So that's the DIN number. So the reason why I'm saying just wind it down to the lowest number and try not to go past that, because this, for example, if you wind it down too low, you can take the whole assembly apart and the heel piece, the spring comes out, everything comes out. Then you go, oh, I've done something a bit wrong. So only go as low as the lowest number.
Okay. Next question then. When you talk about storing boots about, doing it up so that the boot keeps its shape. Now,
Yes.
evidently, skis, we've discussed this in our ski equipment episodes, but they are shaped. They all
Yes.
have different shapes. So, they operate, most modern skis have a specific camber or rocker built in. So
Yes.
do you need to protect that shape when you're storing them as well? Or what I mean is, potentially you could store them in a way where you put them out of shape, perhaps.
Absolutely correct. So don't do what I have behind me, where all the skis are leaning against the wall at varying angles, because one ski is going to bend one way and the other ski is going to be bending the opposite direction. You know what I mean? You and don't have ski ties binding them really. In between the bindings, you generally have a gap called camber. And if you put a ski tie there and flattened that ski and held it, and it got really warm in a loft or a shed, I know we said don't do that, but people do. All the resin that's holding it in that might relax a bit if it gets really hot, and then you're going to be compressing that wood and trying to change its shape. So lying the skis down on a flat surface, they can be tied together just to hold them loosely. You're not going to do it mega tight. And whenever you put a ski tie on a ski, put it where the skis naturally touch. That's what I always do. If we look at there's a red ski behind me with a ski tie across the Black Crow's name, because that's where the skis touch each other. Yeah. So I'm not losing the camber on that ski.
I can tell you, Al, that when you pointed behind you just then, your finger was exactly pointing at those red skis.
Oh, nice.
I
Okay.
don't know how you managed to do that,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
very impressive.